pick?
Nope. I picked Gladiator to check out again. The last time I saw it was, this was like a 2000s movie, right? I probably saw it when I was in middle school, and I liked it. And rewatching it now, I feel like it's because I've seen Rome, I've seen Spartacus, I've seen Game of Thrones. I would prefer stories like this be in the longer format, maybe. This, man, I'm on a streak of not liking a lot of publicly loved movies, man.
I'm gonna have to back you up on this one. This one's an overrated Ridley Scott film.
Like, there's a lot of elements in it. There's acting in it that's good. There's some things they're trying to really take seriously. There's political parts that are touched on that don't really go they don't go enough into it as I would like. The trauma of him having to deal with his family being killed, I feel is just kind of brushed over a bit. I mean, he shows some concern, yes, and he tells you, you killed, murdered my son and my wife and all that stuff, but there's not enough to simmer with it. The movie's like 2 hours long, and I feel like it's just not enough time, or what they chose to use the time for the movie, they didn't focus on the right stuff.
Didn't he do a director's cut of this? For some reason, I think on my 4K there's a director's
You're probably right.
I think there is one on the 4K.
The stuff they chose to focus on.
It's not a Ridley Scott movie if there's not.
There probably is, I'm sure. But I don't know, I feel like the stuff they chose to focus on wasn't good enough for this. The type of story they want to tell wants it to be some kind of epic, it seems. But even the king, or the emperor, the Phoenix character guy, they call him Caesar, which I learned that's more of a title, not just Julius Caesar.
Caesar's what called the ruler of Rome.
Yeah.
I think it just translates to king,
I wish that there was a lot more time with him to really get why he's like this, because it just seems like a cartoonish attempt at trying to make a bad guy the way that they have him. But I feel like that's because we don't have enough time with him. And
well, according to Ridley Scott, he's not a bad guy. He's actually a good guy.
An antagonist, whatever. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, he's retroactively come back and said he's not a bad guy.
But it's like, so he says that he wants to rule Rome and he wants to free the people, but like, there's no actual actions that he does in the movie that support that. So I don't know. I'm just like, he just wants to dissolve the Senate. Can you go more into that, please? And like how that would affect anything? No. I don't know. I feel like they just chose to focus on even the action. It's just like, it's fine, but I wouldn't call it a colossus of rousing action. Like I guess I'm tainted by seeing too much stuff that shows both better political angles of this stuff and action. This is very overrated for the hype people give it. I feel like this is a very normie movie that people go, that Gladiator, that's the one with that guy, and he says, "Are you not entertained?" That's what it comes off as to me.
I know it's not a popular opinion, but I agree
like
with you.
when people would when a normie references Karate Kid, they go, "It's wax on, wax off." And it's like, it's more than that, you little shit. But with this, it's like, they go,
it's not any more than that. You're right.
It's are you not entertained? Okay,
it is generic Spartacus.
I said it. Way to put it. Generic Spartacus.
That's how you.
I fucking said it. It's Dime Store Spartacus, man.
No, you're right. You're right, because Spartacus, they're actually kind of similar, like with their families being killed and they're betrayed by their Rome, essentially. I mean, even though Spartacus, it's a little different, but still, with Spartacus, he was passionately against being a slave. He wanted to get vengeance on the person who killed him. They do really good. I didn't see the Spartacus movie. This is shown in the show too. Like, he's got character behind there. With this, he's just kind of like, I'm kind of miffed that my family's dead, and I probably want to see them, but I want to kill this guy first, sorta. But I'm not really. I don't know. Like, Russell Crowe isn't really showing this to me very well. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing to me in this.
He's playing badass.
That might sound crazy because he doesn't.
Badass movie star at that point.
I've seen this done better. I've just seen this done better. That I'm just like, this is kind of surprising because he's like looked at as one of the.
I'm surprised we're not getting raked in the chat. Actually, Rookie.
Honest,
there's a lot of people who aren't like, "Fuck you, you're wrong."
I'll be honest.
Gladiator's a goddamn masterpiece.
I don't think Rooks is going to get as much hate on this as he would the other ones, because I I do think over time that some people have gone back to Gladiator and thought, you know what, that maybe that wasn't as good as I remember.
I need to revisit it now that I got the 4K, but I just don't. I remember not even giving a shit about getting the Blu-ray because it was an early DVD, and I remember it being an early reference quality DVD. Right? Like, I mean, it was excellent looking, excellent sounding. I think it even had an early DTS track on it, which was a rarity. So I do remember showing it off to my friends just because of the grandiose, nature of the film, but it is a rather hollow film at the end of the day.
It is.
And
There's not much happens.
That's all I remember. And I've seen it a lot of times when it first came out.
There's scenes where they're acting really well and the sets look nice. That's the movie to me. There's not much depth. They don't go into anything. They touch on things, but they don't. It just, again. So if you guys have seen the Spartacus TV show, a lot of people give it shit for being extra gory and extra spicy with words all the time. But more they think it's excessive and trying to be edgy. Yeah, I guess. But they also nail the other aspects that make it. They give it substance in that story too. The show Rome has a much less gory part to it, but it still portrays this stuff in a really nice way. Game of Thrones, even though it's not Rome, but this type of story, Sword of Sandals, historical setting, whatever, medieval, whatever you want to call it. There's been so much better attempts. Even 300 in its own way, that's adapting a comic book, so it is kind of goofy, but like there's more to that gets you behind it, I feel. Troy, somebody said Troy or Gladiator. I think Troy has way better action scenes, much better choreography. But that's still a shit movie to me. Troy.
I've never seen Troy because to be honest, it never looked good to me. But is this true? Because I've never seen Rose burn naked, and now I want to.
That might be true.
Is
that true?
Brief, I don't. I assume. I think that's the
fuck Alexander and fuck Oliver Stone.
It's not much. Yeah.
I know. I will say the only good part about Alexander is seeing what's her name naked.
I thought Alexander was all right.